Hey, it's me, Dr. D, coming to you once again. Here we are, the first full week of what I consider the fourth hour, which is called April, the time of spring. Also, understanding that it's the season, what spring means, because it is 2026. The year we get it fixed. And what greater time as I digest what I've seen and heard through the media, television, social media, and even conversations that I've heard and had with others. Today, I am really what I would say totally filled with the expectation of what's coming to fruition in this time, which is the season of spring. As a matter of fact, something transpired with me a couple nights ago that really turned on my spirit of knowing what it is that we're really, really living through. And as I always say, here on Meditation Moments Language Arts, words have meaning and they are creative. And there are different types of words. You have your antonyms, homonyms, synonyms, and all the other nyms, including what mama nyms say. And with what I've experienced, there's a couple of words that came to mind and through an experience regarding light. And the other night when I was getting ready to retire to go to sleep, I turned off my light. And when I turned my bedside light off, it didn't go completely off. Now, have anyone ever heard if you turn a light off, it'll stay on? So I was quite perplexed. As a matter of fact, I felt some kind of way. I was like, whoa, what is this? And I turned it back on and I turned it off and it was still dimly lit. And I did that several times. I turned it on, turned it off, and my spirit began to well up. You know how you have that anxious feeling? And I was thinking to myself, now I was ready to lay down, retire, rest, and go to sleep. Now, this is definitely making me stay awake because I needed to know what's going on. And then there was a peace that came into my spirit. Now, I'm going to tell you something right here. That peace is the peace of God. Yes, I said God, who is the creator of every breath that we take. And that spirit said to me, yeah, go ahead and rest and go to sleep because the light is always on. It never goes out because the true light is the spirit which I left with you. And do you know, after that, I was like, oh, okay. And I went to sleep. So in thinking about that which never, ever happened to me, and as a matter of fact, you know what I did? I, the next night, I turned it off. And you know what? It didn't light up anymore. And the Spirit said, this was a lesson for you. Now understand, has anybody ever turned a light off that didn't go off? But anyway, let me go here. And of course, I go to my two sources, God and Google, which I just mentioned God. Now we're going to go into Google. And I take notes because I know, as always, they say that the attention span of people nowadays are very short. And I certainly don't want to be responsible for breaking the band of your attention span, because I want you to not only hear but listen to what I have to say. And today, yeah, it might be a little longer than normal, but understand, I couldn't keep this to myself. I had to share it with someone else. So I'm going to put on my glasses here, which is my assistant, and read my notes, because this is some really deep stuff, guys. I'm talking like really deep, to the point it took me to plants that grow in the springtime, because springtime is a time of planting and regrowth. And I say that here again because there are two types of plants. You have annuals and perennials. And I had to go to the source, of course, to understand the difference between perennials and annuals. Because according to the definition of perennials and annuals, one of them, once it grows 1 year, it doesn't come back. And the other, when it grows, it comes back the next year, right? So, in just quickly letting you know where I'm coming from when it gets into what I'm getting ready to share with you about, and also, it all goes together because things grow because of the light. And I noticed that something that I had planted was called an annual, because an annual, they grow for a season. They bloom, they look beautiful, but then they fade away. Annuals represent temporary habits, emotional decisions, short-term faith, and inconsistent commitment. Now, these are the things that annuals represent. And it also indicates it doesn't sustain, meaning, like the perennials, they may go dormant, they may not always be visible, but they come back year after year. So perennials represent deep-rooted faith, spiritual maturity, discipline, purpose-driven living. And the reason I went there first was because the plant that was growing outside of my door was actually supposed to be an annual. But it was growing back, and the thing, there were two of them. I have two separate pots, but only one of them came back and was growing. Anyway, let me try to stay in tune to where I'm going with this, because this, guys, I'm telling you, this was some heavy teaching that I've gotten within this last week, which is the beginning of a new season called spring, and the Spirit is springing forth greater knowledge and understanding for me so that I can share it with you. And for those of you that are familiar with me, of course, if you go to YouTube, there are meditation moments, language arts posted. And the one that came to mind that I went and looked at myself was under the topic of gleaning. So I'm learning that this is what this is calling. When we learn things and they're profound and helpful, we are to share them so that others can glean from the knowledge of understanding the truth of what it is to live your purpose blessed life. Okay? So I'm going to continue here real quick. So as I ingested that regarding what happened with the light coming on and off, and it came to me that the light never goes out. Why? Because the true giver of life is the light of life. And when we're resting and asleep, the light of the Spirit that gives us life is still on. Okay? Check this out, guys. And in thinking about that, when I heard it explained to me that it is, when I went to my best friend, which is Google, but God is the main source. According to Google, listen, light is a form of energy moving at a constant speed that we see by our human eyes, but we have no clue on where or how it is generated. And when we get into understanding the true essence of light, light always outshadows dark because you can see in the light, but you can't see in the dark. But if the light is in the dark, it can be seen. Now that's a whole nother ball game. I'm not going to go because, that gets real deep. Sometimes it's so deep that, as my mama would say, it'll give you the swimming in the head. But anyway, I'm going to continue on here regarding the true essence of the light of the world. Okay? That light is the spirit of the creator of humanity, the creator of your breath. And that is the Holy Spirit of God. And when it comes to that, light symbolizes God. It represents his presence, his favor, his truth, his goodness, and his life, which he gives in every breath that we each breathe. It is the very thing, as I was saying before, that separates darkness. You cannot have light and see dark. Understand, this is what it truly means when the word teaches us. And I'm going to tell you, yes, the word, everything is written in a book for us to learn. You have your math books, science books, geography books. You even have fiction novels for people to read. But the true essence of life, it is written in the book of life, the beginning of humanity. And the title of that book is called the Bible. So understand, as my mother once again would say, because that lady had some profound things, guys. Don't let nobody fool you. And as I'm growing and thinking about words have meaning, the key word that she was saying was nobody. Because there is a nobody and there's a word somebody. The nobody can't tell you anything. Why? Because it's nobody. That to me means whatever you're listening to that's not giving you the positive, the joy, the true direction and meaning of your life, that nobody is a figment of your imagination. Yes, a figment is something that is not real. So don't let nobody fool you into thinking that life is not life. Because as long as you're breathing and carrying the true essence of your purpose and meaning for your being here, it's under you are the light of the world. The question is, how much light do you want to give to the world? And as I'm talking to you and thinking about it, when I turned off the light, there was still light. So no matter where you go and stand, if you're standing in a dark place and you're the light that is still shining, understand, when you do that, you're actually being like a seed that's planted and that grows, and you become a perennial, the one that grows, and then you may lay dormant. And dormancy is not dead, because if you're a perennial, you will come back in due season. So make sure that as you grow each day, receive the lessons that are sometimes taught through pain, heartache, and suffering, disappointment. You know what? When it comes to growing through life, those things are what I consider as fertilizer. Because you know what? Fertilizer stinks, but it does serve a grand purpose. So don't think that you will grow through life without some fertilizer. Even the tears, when it causes tears to flow, that's the watering. Because it's got to be watered at some point in time. So let it get watered and know that it's going to grow into greater. The seeds will be producing a great harvest that can feed others just when you show up. Because at any given point in time, you may walk into a place or meet a person that you've got just what they needed so that they can continue to grow and be that great person that they were born and designated to be. So as I close here, and yes, I'm cutting it short because we're going to do a part 2 of this. Know for sure that now is the time that all of us, the true believers, do our part to do what needs to be done. Why you are given the breath each day to wake up and do your part in making this world a better place. So, as I always say, no matter what it looks like, no matter what you hear, even to the point sometimes it doesn't matter what you feel. Just know that if you're breathing, you can get through it. So never ever give up. It's time, the season, for you to grow up so that you can show up and do your part in making this world a better place and leave a word of encouragement with someone you come in contact with. So love, the roots of love, can continue to spread. All we can do is what we were purposed to do. So let's get it on and shine, shine, shine.